All right, welcome one and all to the Cosmic Comic Nation, powered by Comic Con Radio. I'm your host, Tom Torme, and you might recognize my next guest as the face of Good Magical Morning. Behind the scenes, he's a producer, writer, director, and co-founder of Pure Magic Pictures. His most recent project, currently working on, which he wrote and directed, looks like it's going to be a sensational new film, Skye Hoshi, Anime Girl. Please welcome Kalani Hubbard to the Cosmic Comic Nation. Kalani, thanks for being here.
Hey, Tom, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. I was just saying before that this is a matter of not only respect and admiration, but reciprocation as well. You were kind enough over the summer to have me on Good Magical Morning to talk about the MCU and the current slate of films and superhero fatigue. So I'm happy to work with you yet again.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. And today's a big day too, but big DC day. But Pure Magic Pictures, which you're a co-founder of, it's a unique company. All your TV shows, all your films, they're all professionally produced and distributed in house.
Yep.
I mean that's an exhilarating process. You're really cutting out the middleman in many ways. What drew you to this?
Yeah. So we started this whole platform just because, I mean, I love movies. My wife loves movies, and we've been making stuff for a while now, and we're like, let's create one spot where we can put everything that we're making, make it so easy for people just to jump on and just start watching and make it cohesive. So we started the streaming platform, Pure Magic Pictures, and you can watch it through a web browser, and we have iPhone, Android apps, and Apple TV apps, and all that stuff. And really, the idea is just to have a cohesive spot for all of the movies and shows that we make. And the really cool thing is that everything we do is super indie. It's just me and my wife are writer directors, and I'm either writing and directing something, or she's writing and directing something. And so it's really cool to create a spot where we're able to showcase all of that in one place. So if you like one thing, you'll probably like something else,
Right.
because it's all kind of coming from the same place.
Well, kind of like indie comics, which are the platform, but they're so diverse. There's so many different kinds. It's the same thing with what you're seeing on Pure Magic Pictures, where you could go to the site and you're not just seeing one kind of film. You're going to see several different kinds and TV
Yeah.
shows and talk shows. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I really do admire you because, I mean, I come home and I'm tired, but you produce, you write, you direct, you're acting in these.
Yeah.
It's your baby, it's your company. When
hmm
in the world do you sleep? When do you sleep?
Oh God, that is a great question. I need to do a little bit more sleeping. That is my New Year's resolution.
I can only imagine powering through the Red Bulls and drinking the coffee. I can only imagine how much coffee and Red Bull you're going through.
Yes, yeah, coffee is my savior these days. So yeah.
I mean, it's got. I mean, so right now you've taken the time to talk to me. What's the plan? As soon as we hang up, are you going to editing? Are you going to writing? What's the next step for you?
The next step, yeah. So right now I am in the editing process of the new movie that I'm writing and directing called Skye Hoshi, Anime Girl. So as soon as we're done here, I'm going to go and work on a couple scenes for that. It's coming along so great. I'm really excited about it. So I'm hopping back into the edit after this.
Oh my gosh! Until probably
Yeah,
what 2 in the morning or something along that lines. I'm sure.
something along those lines. Yeah.
Gosh, I'm blessed that I mean that's awesome right away. I mean, I just think that really is, and that's something you get a lot with the indies, right? That you're seeing that love, you're seeing that passion. I always tell people when I go to a comic convention, I love walking up to a booth and you see a comic book on the table, and then you look up and there's the writer, there's the artist. They're
Yeah.
pouring their passion into it, and that's something that's truly admirable about it. And it does show in your work. It does show how much passion you guys put into what you're doing. Just you and your wife Stephanie are just fantastic, so creative. But I work with I work in the same field as my wife. I don't work in the same building as my wife. We're both teachers, um, but look, she likes to talk shop occasionally. I not so much. When I walk out of the building, I like to leave it all behind. How in the
Mm.
world do you guys kind of balance that where you're professionals, you're the co-founders of this company, you're both
hmm
still heavily involved, and then you come home. How do you separate that professional from the private life?
Yeah, no, that is a great question. Something we're always working on because it's we do what we love. I mean, we started this because we absolutely love it. And so for me, people ask like, "What do you do in your spare time?" Or like, "What do you do for fun?" I'm like, "This is what I do for fun." If I, and so it's this is my hobby and it's also my job, which is really cool. But that means that it's nonstop for me. But so that's something that we do is a lot of times we just watch movies. We're just hanging out. We're like, yeah, let's watch a movie. Let's watch some
Now,
anime, or whatever.
oh,
So it
I was
helps.
going to ask you, is that pure enjoyment or is that research when you're watching that movie, you're watching the anime? Or is
Yeah,
that,
it's a hard one. I think sometimes these days I have to intentionally watch a movie for entertainment. I have to be like, I'm gonna watch this so I can relax and have a good time. Okay, mentally prepared, and now hit play.
yeah,
Or else if I just
cinema,
watch something, I'll start thinking about, oh, okay, this is how the story and the writing and the characters. Oh, that's how they shot it. So I'll start going down that rabbit hole forever.
oh, that must be a joy to be around you while you're watching the movie as you dissect the movie.
Yeah, yeah,
That's great.
exactly. So,
So tonight you're heading back into the editing bay, and
mhm.
uh, tomorrow you're going to wake up and we're going to start again. What's a typical day for you like?
Yeah, great question. So we have a weekly news show called Good Magical Morning, which we met on, and that was a lot of
Great.
fun. And so, a typical day is today we just filmed an episode of Good Magical Morning. So today, late last night, I'll start there. I gathered all of the stories for Good Magical Morning, sent them over to our writer. Then this morning, our writer finished up writing the script while I prepped for the episode. I got in some editing for Skye Hoshi, and then we set up to film Good Magical Morning in the studio here. Filmed that episode, had a couple phone calls, and now I'm here chatting with you. After that, I'm
Okay.
gonna get back to some editing. So that's kind of I'm always working on multiple things at once, which is
Right.
always a fun challenge. But it's I enjoy it.
Any days off?
I haven't had a day off in quite a long time. I took a Christmas break. I will say it was
Okay.
hard to do, but I did it. Took a couple of days off for the holidays, but
Rejuvenate.
yeah, I
Right.
usually work six and a half days a week
Oh
is
my
my work
gosh.
schedule. Yeah,
6.5 days a week, probably 15 hours a day, I would imagine, if not more.
yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
god. I mean, but yeah,
So
yeah, like you said, it's your hobby and your profession at the same time. So
right.
uh, that's cool. I mean, and I know that your studios are right here. Well, I'm in New York City, but the
Mhm.
studios in Brooklyn. That's where I've spent most of my life, and it really makes me happy to see that there are studios such as yourself, such as Pure Magic Pictures in Brooklyn,
Mhm.
headquartered in Kings County, which is awesome. But uh,
Yeah.
I mean, how if you're watching this on YouTube, you notice the Brooklyn Bridge in the background. Is that the Brooklyn? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
And how has being in Brooklyn kind of impacted your production?
Oh man, I absolutely love it. It's the best. So we're located in Greenpoint, and we use everything. We film everywhere. It's amazing, and we call it our here in Greenpoint. We call it our Pure Magic backlot because we're always
Right.
we find all of these spots that are really cool and really great access. Oh, it's really easy to pull up and unload and film here. And so everything we do is indie films, right? We love indie films. We have indie crew, so it's like everything's like pretty small
Mhm.
for I mean, it's nothing like a Marvel film has hundreds and hundreds of people, right? It's just like a dozen of us working together making a movie, in the streets. But it is so much fun, and Brooklyn is amazing, and it's really cool because we have parks at our disposal, and the streets, and just so many great locations just within like a stone's throw from our studio. So we're either filming inside the studio here, or we're filming in a really cool location somewhere in Brooklyn, and it's always the production value of the city itself is just amazing, and I love it.
I know, like someone like Adam Sandler, when he's making a movie, he generally picks his. He generally writes his movie depending on like where he wants to go on vacation.
Nice, yeah.
So do you have within Brooklyn? Do you have a favorite place that you like to film?
It's called McGuller Park. It's a park here in Greenpoint.
Okay.
We film there a lot. It's a beautiful park. It's very chill and looks great on camera. And there's a great coffee shop nearby, so
It's
that's
got,
my
it's got everything.
jam.
Right, right.
Yeah, it's got
So
everything.
easy to park, easy to unload.
Yeah,
Perfect for
it's right
filming
by the studio.
and the coffee.
And it's funny, you'll find that park makes an appearance in almost everything we do because it's just so easy for us, and it's a great looking location and love it. So
Do you, yeah, I know like a director like Sam Raimi is going to put his Oldsmobile in just about every film. I think. Do you have anything that you like to do like that for Easter eggs for diehard fans, people who watch your film?
Easter eggs. Yes, yes. So there is a movie. There is a movie that has not been made yet that we're planning on making, and the movie is called Time Pit, and it is a time travel movie, kind of Back to the Future-y. And so we've put references to the movie Time Pit in every single thing we've ever made,
Oh,
and we've put like the Time Pit poster and things in the background of different shots and everything we've ever made. And so the idea is eventually we're going to make the movie Time Pit, but in the world, in the Pure Magic universe, Time Pit is a movie in that world that everybody it's kind of like this old 80s movie that everybody loves. And so that's definitely a reference we make a lot in all of our films.
that's pretty cool. And you know what? You beat me to one of my next questions was, what are you calling your connected? So Pure Magic Universe. Is that so? I like
Yeah.
that the idea. Now the films themselves are not connected. Is this new movie going to connect them, or is it just something that you've enjoyed, kind of planting those seeds along the way? The poster here, the reference here.
Yeah. So I like to say they're all within the same world.
Okay.
It's a lot like, the Marvel universe or something where it all kind of happens within the same world, right? And the stories themselves and the characters themselves aren't connected in any way, but they're taking place in the same world that we've created. So like Time Pit is a movie, and it's a movie within the Pure Magic world, right? And Good Magical Morning is a show that people watch in
Okay.
in the world, so and it's funny, Good Magical Morning, it ends up getting very meta because Good Magical Morning is actually a plot point in the movie Skye Hoshi Anime Girl. So she finds out some really important information about the anime that she's in from watching Good Magical Morning, and it's this really fun moment in the movie. Yeah, so
No, that's very cool. I do
yeah.
like those meta moments. I do. They pay off. It's fun to as a fan and you're watching something that you're really enjoying. Say, oh, I get that reference, or I recognize that. That's
Yeah.
cool. It takes a lot of thought to put that together. So that's definitely testimony to your writing ability. Uh,
Yeah, it's really fun. We actually created a few things that we have been weaving into everything that we're making. Good Magical Morning is a new show that people watch in our universe. There's Time Pit, which is an old 80s classic of a time travel movie that everybody loves. Skye Hoshi, Future Punk 3001 is an anime that everybody watches in the world. And then there is a card game called Dino Guru, and it is a trading card game with people similar to like Digimon, Pokemon, where people fight little dinosaurs in card games. And so,
wow.
so there's this whole little universe we've created, and every movie lives within that universe. So that's pretty fun to geek out on.
I know these are you're currently working on Skye Hoshi, then Time
Mhm.
Pit coming along, but just to throw back a little bit, and I'm sure everybody always remembers their first. Do you remember the first film that you worked on?
Yeah, absolutely. It's near and dear to my heart. It's the movie called Plunder Quest,
Oh
and
yes. Okay.
it is a adventure movie about a guy who goes on a hunt for Prohibition era whiskey, and he ends up going into Bannerman Island, searching upstate New York, and it's really really fun, and there's lots of adventure and action moments.
Wow.
So yeah, that was the first movie that I wrote and directed, and yeah, it's a grand adventure. It was wild because I always say on that movie specifically, I wrote an adventure film, as a writer director, you want to write something really captivating and fun and exciting. So that's what I did. I wrote a very exciting adventure movie. And then we started filming the movie. And then I'm like, wait a second, I have to go on this adventure. And that was a very interesting moment for me. I was like, wait a second. I'm on the adventure that I wrote. This is very interesting, So it was a lot of fun. We got to ride on a sailboat. There was a scene with some snakes. We got to go actually on a castle, an island with a big castle on it that was like kind of falling apart. It's called Bannerman Island. So yeah, there was fight scenes, all this stuff, and so it was definitely a big adventure being like on set making it. So that was a lot of fun.
And you guys, I'm not sure. I'm not familiar. I'm sorry. What Bannerman Island? You said?
Yeah, it's called Bannerman Island, and it is in the Hudson River, upstate.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And it's just this little island. It's kind of just out of nowhere, and there's this big broken down castle on it. It's really cool looking.
That's got to be awesome to film.
Yeah. And so we actually got permission, and we took a small boat to the island and actually filmed on the island, and it was like a big set piece. It was really cool.
You know what? I got to tell you, in my head, I didn't quite make that connection because I'm thinking super like indie, like guerrilla filming. But you really, when you go to these locations, right? You need to file for permits with whom? The city?
Yeah, it depends on what you're doing, but yeah, if you go to the castle, you got to get the permits. So we went to Bannerman Island. We had the permits, permission, all that jazz, and they were so gracious to have us there. And we actually were able to fly drones, and so we got some really epic drone shots, and it was really cool. So
yeah, that's pretty cool. I would imagine no resistance kind of stuff because they really, I think New York is trying to bring back filmmakers, right? And so I would hope that you have their support. It does seem like it.
Yeah, something that I love about New York, I filmed all over the country, and like LA is just such a nightmare to film. Like you need permits to do anything. They want money from you if you sneeze. Anything you do, they're like, that's another permit. Drives me crazy.
I can picture the episode of The Simpsons where they start to film Fallout Boy and what was that?
Radioactive Man.
Radioactive Man, right?
Yeah.
That's a $5 permit.
Exactly. It's exactly that. That's exactly filming in LA,
Right.
So, but New York City, oh my God, I love it so much. It's really, really great for indie films because yes, you do need permits for certain things. Like we filmed in Central Park multiple times, but the permit is, if you have a small enough team, the permit's actually free, which is very cool. So we got a permit to film in Central Park for free, which was amazing. Filming on the streets, we know, there are certain rules, and if you stay within the rules, you don't need a permit to film on the streets. And so, it's just been wonderful being an indie filmmakers and filming, setting up shop in New York City versus somewhere else. It's been great.
Oh no, I would. I mean, New York has such a bad rap most of the time, but really, it is a very welcoming city, and people are awesome.
Yeah.
And starting with Plunder Quest and going all the way now to Time Pit and in between Skye Hoshi, if you could, because that whole concept, like really an artist is never going to be truly happy with their finished work. If you could go back and take another shot at something that you turned in and something that you published and produced, what would it be? What would you like to kind of, in hindsight, just what would you like to edit or?
Oh man,
or
that's a great question. I think with Plunder Quest, that movie, I love that movie so much. It was so much fun. But if I could go back, I think I would add more fight scenes. I just enjoyed the fight scenes so much. There's a couple of them. I think there's like 2 or 3. But there's some like really small ones and there's some like bigger ones. But I really enjoyed choreographing those, and we had a breakaway chair, we had breakaway bottles, and we just had so much fun with them.
Yeah.
And if I could go back, I think I would just build the craziest fight scene ever. Just go wild with it. So, yeah.
Are you guys doing your own stunts?
So far, yes. We haven't done anything too crazy where we would need like stunt people, but yeah, so far our actors have been doing stunts. They've been doing great. We're always being safe, but yeah, we had like the classic like breakaway bottle and breakaway chairs and
That's
a
I
lot
got
of
to
fun
tell you
stuff.
that sounds like a lot of fun. That
Yeah,
it's work and fun at the same time. That sounds amazing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Is
I
that
definitely
actually
enjoy it.
silly question? Is it actually heard or anything? The breakaway bottle is it like sugar? I think right or something or no?
Yeah, yeah, it's like a mixture of like sugar glass and other stuff. But yeah, it's so thin that yeah, you can smash it on somebody's face, and it's just like it feels like nothing. It's crazy.
Really?
It's I've held it in my hand, and it's so brittle. It's like
Oh,
if
right.
you any pressure at all, it'll break in your hands. So yeah, it doesn't hurt. It's really fun.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Uh,
Yeah.
that's so all right. So I mean, so more fights. Is that something you think you might add to more films in the future? Yeah. So Time
Oh,
Pit is
absolutely.
like your kind of eight is like an '80s time travel kind of. I would imagine Robert Zemeckis, John Hughes kind of mix. Uh,
Totally. Yeah.
uh, Anything on the horizon you're thinking along that kind of lines of action? So you could scratch that itch and put
Yeah.
put those scenes back in.
Yeah, actually, I have a movie that we're planning on filming, hopefully sometime in the summer, and it's called The Squatchers.
Oh
And
yeah,
that movie is an adventure movie about a bunch of friends who go upstate to go Sasquatch hunting, and it's kind of my take on like Goonies or something. Like if the Goonies grew up and went upstate to go hunting for Bigfoot. And so that movie, I have a couple fight scenes and a couple action scenes written in there. It's very adventure, very very fun. So I think I'm gonna lean into it on that one and try to get some more epic brawls.
that does sound cool.
Yeah.
So are you going to film that upstate as well? Or
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go upstate and film that one. And then, funny enough, we did this for Plunder Quest as well. We filmed on Bannerman Island and we filmed upstate, and then for a couple of the scenes, we actually filmed in Central Park, which is
oh
kind
wow,
of funny. It's just so easy to film, and it cut together great. You'll never know what was in Central Park versus what was all the way upstate New York. And so we'll probably do the similar thing for the Squatchers film upstate in the trees, and then
hmm
a couple scenes in Central Park. So
do you
yeah,
find yourself doing that as you're driving through Brooklyn? You're driving around. You find yourself looking at something and say, "Oh, that would be cool to film there. Oh, I like that. Oh, that building looks cool. That I could use that." Is that the
yeah,
as you're driving, you're also oh gosh, I can't think of the word of it. Where they're scouting. Are you scouting
yeah,
location? Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I always have location scouting in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, this is cool. I have to remember to come back here. Every once in a while, I'll take a photo. I'll be like, okay, remember this.
Has
So
Pure Magic Pictures ventured into horror?
we haven't done horror. I think that's the I think thriller would be the farthest we would go. I'm such a lightweight with horror. Like I get scared really easily. So I love suspense so much. It's
Yes.
great. Suspense, thriller, like leaning more towards like Jurassic Park or something.
Okay.
So I think the Squatchers is definitely gonna lean more towards that.
All right.
But horror, I think that's where we'll stop before we get there,
Gotcha.
with our stuff. Yeah.
Suspense, thriller, not gore. I'm not much of a fan myself. I like to be scared, but I don't like to be grossed out, and I don't see much.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Right.
Yeah, I don't want anything haunting my dreams.
Right.
I stop there.
Yeah. In my opinion, it takes a lot more effort to get us scared than out of good writing rather than just pouring a lot of red colored caramel on the screen to
Yeah,
get people scared. Um,
exactly.
So you said after this you're going back to Eddie, but you're gonna be working on Skye Hoshi, Anime Girl.
Hmm.
I was lucky enough. I got a few clips sent to me in advance to kind of look at it. It looked amazing, and in the notes it said it was all coming together, but it's still pretty
Yeah.
cool. Uh, and what can you tell people about this movie so far?
Yeah. Well, okay. So Skye Hoshi Anime Girl is a movie about anime girl who falls out of her poster, becomes real, and has to find her way back home to the anime before it's destroyed. And so there's lots of fun moments along the way, and yeah, it's a fantasy movie, and it has a ton of comedy in it, and surprisingly, a lot of very sweet moments too. I'm very excited for people to see it. I think people are going to really love it. And
Is there
yeah, it. What was
is,
that?
is there a release date on the horizon?
Yes, it is. April 21st is
Huh?
the release date. That's when it's hitting the screen, zapping your screen. April 21st, as we say.
I know. Your films and your TV shows, they go to Pure Magic Pictures. You wear the app, the streaming service. Do you ever get a chance to, in conjunction with maybe either local or everything from like Alamo Drafthouse or anything, to screen the movies or shows for audiences?
That's a great question. I think we might try to do that. For some up and coming projects, but we have not done that yet. Right now, everything just streams on Pure Magic Pictures. But I think that would be really cool to do some
Only
sort
reason
of
I
like.
ask is some of it is such you're making such amazing stuff, and I admit that I don't understand the full caliber of how this works, but I know that sometimes a film might be up for award if it has a theatrical run versus if it is
Right.
exclusive streaming, and you're producing such high quality stuff. That I would imagine it would be award worthy, and I would just think, oh, this one might open some new doors.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well, it's kind of cool. We always submit our stuff to festivals when we can, and it was really cool. Plunder Quest won multiple awards, which I'm really excited about, and it actually got some like really good critic reviews on like Rotten Tomatoes and stuff. So it was very cool to kind of see that movie become so loved by the people who've seen it. So
Right.
that was cool. So I'm excited for Skye Hoshi. We're probably going to give it the same treatment, put it out there, and hopefully it gets the same love.
So Plunder Quest still got all the accolades, still got all the awards, despite not having the action, as much action as you would have liked
Yeah,
in retrospect. And I'm sure that meant the audience really loved it, regardless. And
yeah,
like I said, you could put the action scenes and squashes in and scratch that.
exactly,
But
exactly.
so that's amazing. And so with a late April release for Skye Hoshi, the editing's coming together. It's going right
Hmm.
to Pure Magic on the streaming service. Uh, and we have Time Pit and Squatchers on the horizon as well.
Yeah, definitely. Squatchers is on the horizon as well. Time Pit it'll happen eventually. Not sure when that'll happen, but that's a slow burn. We're working on that one as
It
in the
definitely,
background.
considering that you've been, but putting those Easter eggs in for the film is all. I guess it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh,
exactly. But I think the cool thing about Skye Hoshi, we actually got permission by Crunchyroll to film at Anime NYC.
oh, very
And
cool.
so we went to the Javits Center and we filmed like one of the biggest like moments in the movie at Anime NYC. We were there for a couple of days filming, and it was just such a cool moment for us to actually like go to the anime convention with our movie, and people like the fans actually like went crazy. It was actually really cool. There was a lot of people there who were kind of coming up to us and to our actor Olivia who plays Skye, and they're like, "Oh my god, like your cosplay is so cool! Like, what character are you?" And it felt really cool to be like, she was like, "Oh, I'm Skye Hoshi, from the movie and everything," and it was just so cool and validating for us to create this character and for the anime fans to love it so much and accept it. So that was a really cool moment for us in the movie.
Hey, maybe next year screen it at Anime.
Yeah, we definitely should. Yeah, that would
That
be
would be
great.
that would be cool. I think that I mean that's a great audience there. The people who go to anime, the people who go to Comic Con, it's a great audience. So I'm sure they'll be extremely receptive to it. Uh,
Absolutely.
and, maybe they'll recognize themselves in the background of that shot too.
Yeah, they're like, "Wait a second, I know that."
Okay, it's me.
Exactly.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I mean, so there's so much going on. I mean, really, between the editing, the producing, the writing. Uh, but not to put you on the spot, but if people want to reach out to you, not to say that I don't even know how you would find the time to respond, but and you do, believe me, I see the way you interact with people on social media. If people want to reach out to you, if people want to find out more information about Pure Magic Pictures, the films you're producing, the TV shows that you're producing, well, where would we turn for that?
Yeah, well, you can find us on Pure Magic Pictures on Instagram. And we do a lot of DMing. So if you DM us, we'll see it and we'll shoot you back. Hey, what's up? And then you could always DM me too. I'm just at Kalani Hubbard on Instagram as well. And that's basically the easiest way to get a hold of us. It's just Instagram. We use it for everything. So yeah, and that's kind of the cool thing too, that we really enjoy is as we're such an indie small company, and so when we gain more fans, we really do interact with them. And that's kind of like the really unique thing about what we do. For Good Magical Morning, we have fans that send in stories that we put on the show, and we interact with them that way. And we even we've done casting calls before, like, hey, we're making this movie, we're going to be at this place at this time. Who wants to be an extra? And we've actually had fans come out and be in movies, which was just so fun and cool. So it's just been really cool creating like this awesome little community, and we're always trying to grow and get more people involved. So we'd love to hear from you.
Well, if you're ever looking for someone who cannot act at all but just stare wildly off into the distance, I happen to know a guy who could do that.
It's a skill. I love it. Yeah,
well, that's cool. I mean, I am sure your fans do, and I'm sure anyone who was reaching out to Pure Magic Pictures can tell you that they do appreciate that you do respond so quickly, and despite your busy schedule, that you find the time for that. That's really truly amazing. But at this moment, I really just want to thank you for your time and thank you for coming on Cosmic Comic Nation. And we really look forward to hearing more from you and more from Pure Magic Pictures, especially as Skye Hoshi gets near the release. So I'll definitely be on top of that and make sure that we're following and getting as excited for the release as I am. But really,
yeah,
Kalani Hubbard, thank you very much for your time. It was great speaking with you, and I appreciate it.
yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. It was great talking to you.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night. This is Tom from Cosmic Comic Nation, wishing you a great night. Be well. Stay safe. We'll see you soon.